Welcome all of you joining us, talking Southwestern University Athletics alongside head track and field coach Andrew Diehl. I'm McConnico, and well, unfortunately, the weather played an issue for the Pirates. They made the trip to SFA down in Nacogdoches, but the meet rained out. So, Coach, the good news, the bad news is you unable to run. You may get a few injuries, kind of quicker on their way to recovery, but now just one more meet before the conference championships.
Yeah, we took a long weekend trip to Nacogdoches.
Your first trip to Nacogdoches, I believe.
It was, yeah. So overall, disappointed that we didn't get to compete. We kind of had some bumps in the road beforehand, leading up to the meet. So I think the meet was kind of snake bitten before we even got there. But once we did get there, we competed really well. I was happy with the events that we did get in. The distance runners ran great. Valacosta had a 9-second PR in the 1500. The throwers threw really well, given the circumstances. We had some bus issues, so we showed up about 20 minutes before the start of the events. So it was a little stressful, but our team handled it really, really well. And I think in some ways it might have helped us because they didn't really have much time to think. So we just went out and competed. And then for Saturday, I was really, really excited. We had some great lane draws for our relays and some of the open races. We were in a great position to run really well and improve our position at conference and our lane draws for conference. But it just wasn't meant to be. Ultimately, it was a really well-run meet. Like everything was trending the right way. Just wasn't meant to be with the weather, which is unfortunate. Even on the way back, the weather still got us. We had to turn around 3 times because of flooded roads. So that was a little exciting, especially in a 56-passenger bus coming back on some back roads. But it all worked out well, and hopefully we'll be able to get this weekend in.
Difficult trip, no doubt, there in Nacogdoches. But the good news is you, headed down to San Antonio this week in the UIW meet. Bad news is inclement weather that appears to be in the forecast yet again.
60% chance. So as we know in Central Texas, we'll take that. We'll take our odds. But so it's a 2-day meet again. So there will be some events on Friday, which it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Most of the throws, the distance races are that night. But obviously most of the sprints and everything else are on Saturday. So hopefully we'll be able to get it in. Last chance before conference, high intensity meet, some good quality competition. And, we're still looking for chances to improve our marks for conference. And, if we're not able to get it in, we'll have to get creative during practice to try and do some race simulation and some different things like that. But in some ways, like you said, it could be a blessing that our injured people aren't really missing too much, and we're getting some more time for them to get back to 100%.
Well, fingers crossed that the weather holds off. You're able to get this meet in. It will be your final meet before the conference championship, and that's going to be in the Alamo City. That'll be the following week down at Trinity, the SEAC championship. What are you focusing on, I should say, between now and then?
Yeah, the haze in the barn, I guess is the best way to put it. We're not going to get much better between now and conference. Physiologically, 21 days is kind of the rule of thumb for your body to adapt to training. So we're in the downhill slide. After tomorrow for the sprinters, we don't really have any hard workouts left. So we're kind of, I'll use the same, I guess, kind of metaphor I used with the team yesterday. If our season, we're building a car, and back in January we started with just a frame, at this point we're polishing it. It's pretty much done. It's painted, maybe leather interior, I don't know, but it's all done, and we're just putting the final touches on it. So getting everybody healthy, they're going to start feeling better. We're backing off in the weight room, all those sorts of things, so that when we get to a conference, we feel good. We're ready to go, and we're ready to compete. And I think if we're able to get everybody back, I think we're primed to have a pretty good meet. And with that being said, our focus is to do the things right. So to put ourselves in a position to get the marks that we want. We're focusing on what we need to do in the race, in the circle, on the runway, to put us in a position that our marks will come. So that's kind of our focus here, and something that as a coaching staff we're really pressing. It's not worried about what you throw, it's worried about the positions you're getting yourself into, and the throw will come, or the jump, or the run, whatever.
The Ferrari's built, it's polished, now just have to bring it to the starting line. Coach, a question for you. Obviously, there are meets after the conference championship. How does that work as far as having your athletes qualify, and then what will be the next step?
Yeah, so it depends on who you talk to. Coaches have different philosophies about it. Our philosophy is if you're in the top 30 in the National Descending Order List on TFRRS, that will go to at least one more meet after conference. So with the national championships being Memorial Day weekend in May, there's basically a whole month of competition pretty much, and you can qualify up to 10 days before the national championships. So if we have somebody that's in the top 30 nationally, we'll continue on to one or two meets. We have some hope that we'll have a couple athletes that will be in that position, especially after conference. And that's the goal, is to compete after conference. I think in a lot of ways, the focus of our year is on conference. And for a few athletes, conference is a step in the process to get to their ultimate goals. And so for us to do that, be ranked in the top 30, for the women it's the top 26 in the nation go. For the men it's the top 24 in the nation go to nationals. And so if we're in the top 30, we need more chances. It means we're right on the cusp, and knowing that we're peaking here in a few weeks, we can ride that peak until we get the mark that we need. And so if we were in that position, or if we're lucky enough to be in that position here in a few weeks, we'll probably go to Houston has a meet, UTSA I believe has a meet. So those are the meets that we would go to and continue training here on campus.
Pirates hoping for one final chance to improve on those marks before the conference championship this weekend. Headed down to UIW. Fingers crossed the weather holds off. You're able to get that made in. Coach, yeah, fingers crossed indeed. Good luck. Weather's been an issue. Hopefully not this weekend for your Pirates.
I appreciate it.